Alright guys, in this video we'll be checking statistics, and statistics is a method of transforming data into useful information. It can also be defined as a systematic method of collecting, organizing, presenting, summarizing and analyzing data. So the methods of statistics are collection, organizing, presenting, summarizing, and analyzing. So those are the basic methods of statistics that we have, and they are coupled together with the definition of statistic itself. So you have to understand the full concept of what data is. So we use statistics in business, we use in marketing, we use it in finance, we use statistics in economics. That is, it is usually it is even used in management, that is, be it government, industries or individuals. So decisions are always required for future events, that is money, men, material and machine, so which are characterized by uncertainties. So in this case we use statistics in management. We also use it in economics, so for making informed and optimal choices. So that is that for the use of statistics in economics. We also make use of statistics in stuff like quality control, human relation and behavior. We make use of it in demography. We make use of statistics in demography, that is, demography in the sense that it is used in the areas of data for mineral explorations, and it is used in some urban and regional planning. So it is a very crucial part of statistics, so take note of that. For stores like finance, we use statistics in actuarial statistics. So it is a major area in life insurance. So that is the essence of statistics in finance. In marketing, it is used to brought to bear in market research, so to determine the development of customer preferences. So this we use it in the arrangement of the price, the product and whatsoever. So that is the uses of statistics. We also have the classification of data. We have the primary data, we have the secondary, we have the qualitative data, and we have the quantitative data. So all these data varies and they have some primary similarities. For example, primary data are those data that involve that are obtained through observations. So they are obtained through observation, experimentation, interview, questionnaire. All these type of data are referred to as what? They are referred to as primary data. Then for secondary data are they are already collected documents data, that is those ones that are documented already. So for some purposes an individual or group are to reused by another individual. So those data are already documented, so another person will come to use them. But for primary data is a source of information you have to source online or the internet, your observation from an experiment, your interview. So those ones are what they are primary data, while secondary data is the opposite. So we have the qualitative data. The qualitative data is a scale of measurement. Qualitative data is simply a scale of measurement. We have the classification of data by source of data. We also have classification of data by scale of measurement. So when we say classification of data by source of data, we are referring to the primary and secondary data. But classification of data by scale of measurement, we are referring to the qualitative data and the quantitative data. So qualitative data is a scale of measurement that represents some attribute or categories. When we say qualitative, it is the maximum attainable educational background. So what quality? The quality of clothes. You understand? So all these are examples of qualitative data, and it is a scale of measurement that falls under the nominal scale. So that's qualitative data. It falls under the nominal scale. In fact, the scale of measurement that they are they are unordered numbered representation of the different categories. In other words, these numbers are just mere labels. They are just mere labels. That is, let's say 16 flats, the number in a 16 flat. So they are that is that for qualitative data. Then we have quantity. As the word implies, when we say quantitative data, it is a measure. A measure is said to be quantitative if it represents count. So the quantity or measurement, for example, the number of people in Lagos State University. So that is quantity. The weight of man, that is quantity. So these are quantitative data. So that's that for quantitative. So you should know the difference between qualitative data and quantitative, primary data and secondary data. Now, the quantitative data is also splitted into two. It is splitted into the discrete variable and the continuous variable. When we say discrete variables are those variables that can easily be counted. They are those variables that can easily be counted. So let's say the number of students in a classroom. Let's say there are 50 students. Those ones are discrete. While continuous are those ones that are continuous in nature. That is, let's say the height of man. The height of man is a continuous variable. So I said something about the nominal scale earlier. The nominal scale falls under the qualitative data. So example is the color of school uniform, the sex of students on enrollment in schools, the telephone or cell phone number of students. So all these are qualitative data and they fall under the nominal scale. Then we have the quantitative data. Quantitative data is a measure of quantity. Let's say the weight of man, the height of man, all these are quantities, and they are also split into two parts. They are split into the discrete variables and the continuous variables. So discrete variables are count data, what you can easily count, but continuous variables are those ones that keep on going. So that is that for that. Then note that interval scale tell us the difference between two objects. So interval scale and ratio scale, they fall under the quantitative data. Interval scale and ratio scale fall under the quantitative data, while nominal scale and ordinal scale falls under the qualitative data. Yes. Why? Yes, I hope I'm right with that. So we move to the interval. Interval scale tells us the difference between two objects or person. So we'll check the difference. I'll bring a table now. Then you check the difference between this type of data. Then you read through for nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. So the nominal scale is the lowest order scale of measurement. The nominal scale is the lowest, followed by the ordinal, then the interval scale, and the ratio scale. The ratio scale is the last, and it is the largest. It is the largest scale. It is the most elaborate scale of measurement. That is, it has all the properties of the interval scale. So in fact, we can use it to classify, we can use it to rank order. So that is that for the ratio scale. And for the um, ordinal scale, ordinal scale is the second lowest order scale of measurement. So it recognizes and allows for ordering or ranking of individuals with reference to traits. So that is that for the nominal scale. That is that for the ordinal scale.
So this is the breakdown of the variables. So you can see earlier, I said earlier that we have the qualitative, the quantitative, the nominal. The qualitative is under nominal and ordinal scale, while quantitative is under interval and ratio scale. So and nominal and ordinal, they are also splitted into categorical data, while discrete and continuous, they are splitted into interval and ratio. I explain what discrete variables are, and I explain what continuous variables are. So when we say discrete, we can count them, but when we say continuous, they are continuous in nature. For example, the height of man. So those ones, that's the difference between them, and they operate under the scale of. I told you should understand. You should understand the one that operates under the interval, and you should understand the one that operates under the ratio. So that's that for the 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 variables under the quantitative. So we move to the types of statistics that we have. We have two types of statistics. We have the descriptive and the inferential. But in some cases, we'll be discussing only the descriptive statistics. That's the only statistics we'll be treating. And in fact, that's the statistics we've been treating right from our O levels. All right. So, what are descriptive statistics? We have basic five. We have the measures of central tendency. The measure of central tendency, they are called the mean, median, and mode, and they are also known as the average. Then we have the measure of variability. They are the variance, standard deviation, and the range. Why the distribution shape? The distribution shape is also called the measures of shape. So in this case, they are called the central limit theorem, skewness, and kurtosis. Then we have graphical visualization. Graphical visualization deals with when we have bar charts, histogram, pie charts, box plot, scatter plot, and viewing plot. So, and the last one, we have the summary table. That's the frequency distribution. So in some cases, where most students usually focus on is the measure of central tendency and the measure of variability. So why some other students focus on the first three, that is measure of central tendency, variability, and distribution of shape. In fact, some even go to the extent of doing the frequency distribution, but it is limited for some students, especially secondary school students, to stop at the range, and they make use of the graphical visualization in some cases as well. But scatter plot and viewing plot, violin plot is exempted in most of the cases. All right, so this will be the end of this video. In my next video, we'll break down the types of descriptive statistics that we have, and we'll be taking some questions as well. Thank you, and please do well to subscribe to this channel. Thank you.